G'day there guys, Connor here again. Just got back from a long day of looking for Jack. He's still on the loose and he's dangerous, so we really need him. Anyway guys, keep your eyes peeled, hit like and subscribe and all that stuff, and let's get straight to the stories. Okie dokie, well on relationship advice, this one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, My boyfriend convinced me to have a threesome with a woman from my uni. Since then, our relationship has been off. How do I fix this? First, please don't judge me. I've been doing plenty of that myself already. I just need some advice because I feel like I'm at a breaking point. A friend of mine suggested I post here to get some perspectives. A while ago, my boyfriend shared with me that one of his biggest sexual fantasies was to have a threesome. I was honestly pretty hurt by that because the idea of inviting someone else into our sex life just seemed so odd to me. It did make me feel iffy about our relationship, but the months after that were wonderful again, and he didn't bring it up again until recently. We talked about it for a couple of days, and he was so reassuring and patient at the time that I did end up agreeing to it. We agreed there should be no emotional attachments, and it should be with someone we weren't friends with, so I ended up DMing a pretty girl who I shared a seminar with, and who I knew was bisexual from her Insta profile. It was super awkward, but she said she was open to it. My boyfriend also approved and said he was fine with whomever I was fine with. We ended up doing it, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, but my boyfriend didn't. He said it wasn't how he thought it would go, that she seemed unexperienced in bed and didn't know how to divide her attention. It did seem like she was more attentive towards me, but I think it was largely because I was so nervous at first, so I thought it was sweet of her to help me relax, and I thought my boyfriend would appreciate it too since it took me so long to even agree to this. I also don't think she was really inexperienced, since I enjoyed what she did, and on top of that she helped be comfortable too. In fact, she made me finish 2 times, which was a first for me since it generally takes a while for me to even finish once. It was awkward between me and my boyfriend for a while, but the tension settled and he was back to normal after a couple of days. I'd been texting with the girl leading up to the threesome, and after it we haven't really stopped. I thought it was odd at first, but she continued texting me and I enjoyed talking to her, so we kept DMing. She also sat next to me in my seminar every week, and we got coffee together afterwards. As soon as I told my boyfriend that though, thinking it was funny, he got mad and said I should block her and not talk to her. When I said we were literally in the same seminar, which he didn't mind before when I showed it to him, he said I should drop out of the class. We got into a big fight where I also brought up that I didn't even want to have a threesome at first and that he pressured me into doing it. He kept asking, "So you think I'm a manipulator?" over and over, and just overwhelming me. He said that I was breaking the rule we had, tried to blame me for choosing her, and also badmouthed her, which really threw me off. He said that she was just trying to sleep with me and trying to mess up our relationship, and that I'm borderline cheating on him. It's been 2 days since then and we haven't talked to each other at all. My friends tried to convince me to break up with him, but we've been dating for almost 4 years, and it just kind of feels like it would be a waste. I ended up replying to the text from the girl in my class, and I did feel really guilty, since that was the whole reason me and my boyfriend fought, but it's been nice to talk to her, and she's been really understanding and let me vent. I don't know if I should just go through with it and tell her we should stop talking, though at the same time I don't like the thought of my boyfriend controlling me, as my friends have said. Oh no, my steak too juicy, my lobster too buttery. But in all seriousness, I can kind of see both sides here. Sounds to me like they had an agreement not to be friends with people that they're sleeping with, and yet here's OP, becoming all buddy-buddy with this girl. But it also sounds like the boyfriend's just completely on edge about the whole thing from the beginning, which obviously seems silly, seeing as he's the one that brought it up. One thing's for sure is they need to bloody talk about it, not do this silent treatment thing for days on end. Let's go to the comments. Quote, "But we've been dating for almost 4 years and it just kind of feels like it would be a waste." Ah yes, the sunk cost fallacy, persuading yourself to spend future time with a jealous waste man simply because you've spent past time with him. Come on now, don't be silly, guy's a fool. Take this opportunity to move on from this mistake, not commit more to it. Opie replies, "Though the time I've spent with him is also an important factor, I was also thinking of the experiences we've made and how we've grown, and it seems hard to just let go of that. I don't know, it's also my first long-term relationship and I feel like I don't want to give up so easily, but at the same time, the things my friends are saying, the way he yelled at me and what I've been reading here just makes me waver." I think it's very strange to DM a girl you share a class with and only know as bi from her Insta to ask if she'll have a threesome. You're lucky she was open to it because that's creep behavior and could have backfired on you massively. There are apps and websites to meet people who are in it for the freak. The vast majority of people would expect to build some kind of rapport with the people they're going to have sex with. Did your boyfriend get to know her at all? Or was invested in her pleasure? Or was he just expecting pornified servicing from a stranger? And your boyfriend's right. You were breaking the rule, which became completely unsustainable when you picked a classmate you see on the regular. Thinking it's odd she'd keep associating with you, as if she should have just disappeared back into the shadows after serving her purpose, is gross and objectifying. I'm not saying dump your boyfriend or never have threesomes again, but do it with the right attitude and realistic expectations. She replies, yes, I also realised that. I'm honestly still very ashamed by how I started it all, although she said it was fine. I just don't at all know how to go about it, and my boyfriend encouraged me to just DM someone I would be interested in. I just relied on him, which I definitely shouldn't have done in that case. We also did meet once briefly before the threesome where my boyfriend met her. And again, it was ignorant on my part how I went about it. I was just wholly unprepared, and it was also rushed. I definitely messed up. I just didn't think we'd text and talk so regularly. Afterwards, we exchanged some brief texts, but when she continued texting me, I also thought it would be rude to just cut her off, and she is a nice person to talk to. I'm realizing that I made a lot of mistakes, and I'll definitely talk with my boyfriend again when I figure out what to say. I have a car, and I usually like my car. Over the past 4 years, I have invested in my car with regular oil changes and minor repairs as needed. Turns out it's actually a lemon and is suddenly having a lot of very expensive problems way sooner than it should, some of them making it difficult to get around town. For example, I can no longer turn left and the brakes don't work very well. Should I just go ahead and keep spending money on this car because I've already invested 4 years of upkeep into it and I'm used to it? Or should I get rid of it? Okay, on to an update 2 days later. I've decided to end things with my boyfriend. I honestly went into the conversation preparing to say that we should take a break, but once I actually started talking, I changed my mind. I don't really feel any regret over my decision, more so over my actions in the last couple of weeks of our relationship. He was pretty mad when I told him that we should break up. He didn't really say a lot and left pretty quickly. Later he texted me and said he couldn't believe I was throwing away our relationship for this and that I was going to regret it. I honestly wasn't prepared for the breakup talk, which is why I didn't get the chance to really explain how there were a lot of things throughout our relationship that just weren't right, that we never fixed, and I didn't feel like telling him all that over text, so I just ignored him. As for the girl, we continued texting, but I'm starting to realize that I might actually have a crush on her, and I feel awful for it. It does feel like I was cheating, and I also feel horrible for dragging her into all of this. I don't think it would be right to go out with her, nor do I even feel capable of that so soon after I ended things with my ex-boyfriend, or continue texting her when I feel this way about her, so I might just end things with her after all. For a long time I wasn't even sure if I was into girls, so I've never been in a relationship with one before, but even now that I know 100%, I don't think this is the right time or situation to date a woman for the first time, especially not someone who's been so kind and attentive towards me. It would be unfair to her, and I think it's probably best to end things now rather than to let them drag on. I also wanted to thank everyone for giving me a wake-up call. I honestly didn't expect strangers on the internet telling me similar things to what my friends have been telling me to be this helpful. Man, I don't understand this guy. Like what, did he just manipulate his girlfriend into having a threesome and then got upset that she enjoyed it? Like keeping in touch with the third after the fact is one thing, but doesn't even sound like that's his issue. Let's read some final comments. She's inexperienced in bed and didn't know how to divide her attention. He just wanted 2 women to be all over him and only him. The girl made his partner finish twice, which she says even he doesn't do. She's not inexperienced in bed. She's bisexual and interested in both men and women. He just wanted 2 women who are only interested in him. He didn't give a damn whether Opie had an uncomfortable or awful experience with it. So gross and weird. Glad Opie got the hell out of there. Boyfriend was expecting that he was going to have sex with 2 girls. He never wanted his girlfriend to have sex with another person. Ha, This guy thought he was coercing his girlfriend into having a porny threesome with another girl who would only service him. Instead, he got to witness a demonstration of his sexual ineptitude and his girlfriend's gay awakening. Love this for her. Hope she keeps seeing the girl and has many more orgasms in her future. That's one way to round it up. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this one? Let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, that's it for that story, and we'll move on to the next one. Alrighty, we're over on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, "My boyfriend is being a jerk about a job opportunity, and I feel really sad about it. I recently had a job interview for a dream job. It would undoubtedly change the whole trajectory of my career, propelling me into a whole new ballgame with a ton of growth potential. The pay would be enough to afford a house, actually save for retirement, and it has benefits, all things I don't currently have. However, it's in a different state. Before applying, I did ask my boyfriend if he'd be open to moving with me, to which he said yes. When I got the interview, I was beyond happy. Again, this job could pretty much change my life. He was supportive enough until I made it through the first round of interviews. Since, he's gotten pretty mean about it. He was clearly not happy for me and would get upset when I talked about it, which was a real bummer because I'm incredibly excited and don't feel like I can talk to him about it, or if I do, I can expect his reaction to be poor. We went out to a bar with a mutual friend and I told him about the position. He asked me when I would have to relocate should I get it. I responded and my boyfriend said, just enough time for me to find a new girlfriend. He made a few jokes about getting a new girlfriend. I responded that I would want to take him with me, and he said, no way am I doing that. I felt both sad and embarrassed because all of this was in front of our friend. Later that night, when we were home, we got into a fight about it. He told me that if I got the job, he would likely break up with me. He accused me of being distant and trying to run away from him. I was kind of taken aback by this, as I felt that I'd been pretty clear that I would want him to come with me, and I felt like our relationship had been in a good place. I did not feel distant from him, nor have I had the desire to create distance with him. I tried to remind him that I largely have been exclusively applying to jobs in our state, and that this job opportunity is still just a hypothetical. I'm still very early on in the interview process. I feel pretty alone right now. I feel unsupported and frankly worried that he's already having such a negative reaction, that he's so angry with me, and I haven't even been offered the position yet. I feel like something I was so excited about has quickly become a source of pain and discord. Any advice on how to handle the situation would be greatly appreciated. Edit for clarity. 1. He's looking to change careers right now and moving into a different industry. This new city would have a lot of job opportunity for him as well, as there's significant demand for his skill background there. And 2, we've been together for a year and a half. Honestly, not long enough to justify staying with this guy. Sounds pretty clear to me. Whatever apprehension he has to Opie getting this job, it's not worth it. Whether it's pride or jealousy or just general annoyance with having to move, it doesn't really matter. Opie's in her mid-20s. This is about career now, and it sounds like this opportunity is way too good to pass up. Let's go to the comments. This is such an amazing opportunity for you. The fact that he makes jokes about it and makes you feel bad or embarrassed in front of your friends is a red flag. Putting you down like that for jokes, it honestly sounds like you'd be so much better off accepting this job. I'm excited for you and what the future holds. Best of luck to you. Your boyfriend doesn't know how to communicate at all. He feels more hurt than he's letting on, and he's lashing out. He's making this about him and you leaving him. I have a suspicion that he didn't think you'd get as far as you have with this new position. Does he have a fantastic career with advancement opportunities that would prevent him from going with you? Unfortunately, he's acting fairly selfish and not giving you the support you need and deserve. I'd let him know this, and if he's still being rude and spiteful, then I think it's time for a fresh start on a personal level as well. Sorry you're going through this, but I do hope you get the new position. She replies, thanks for your response. I think he's taking it very personally. He doesn't particularly like his current job, and there isn't much room for career growth, and has already hit the pay cap within his role, and his salary isn't enough for us to afford a house or prepare for the future. He's been looking for new work in a different industry where there's more growth potential. This new city would actually have a lot of opportunity in that industry, and it really could be a great move for him as well. But he's seemingly uninterested. He's just been so angry with me. I just want to point out, the reason he was supportive of you in the beginning was because he didn't believe in you. He thought you would never get an interview, much less get through a round of interviews, which is why when, to his surprise, you were nailing this thing, he is upset. He thought he wouldn't have to confront you with the fact that he A. thinks very little of you, and B. does not want to have a serious conversation about changing his life, even if it means your happiness and success. And because he could, he decided lying to you about those things would be way easier than saying them aloud. Whether or not you get the job, you should reconsider this relationship. You deserve way more. I believe in you. Yeah, some good advice. Okay, onto an update. 1 month later. I deleted the original post because my boyfriend is an active Redditor and I got a little nervous. Some more background I didn't have in the original post. My job. The opportunity is around 6 figures, full benefits, equity in the company, and has the kind of name recognition that would open pretty much any door I wanted afterwards. At my current job, I do not get health insurance through my work, I have no benefits, my growth has been stagnant for over a year, maybe even 2. I applied to so many jobs in our town that I'm still averaging about 2 to 3 rejection letters every day, literally being rejected by everywhere else I applied. His job. He has reached the pay cap. Doesn't matter how much he works, he will not be able to make any more money. It's significantly less than I'll be making. He would like to find a different job. Our relationship. We dated for shy of 2 years. I had a period where I was struggling a lot emotionally. I had some childhood trauma come up, terrible bout of depression, horrible anxiety and panic attacks. The city we lived in was far from where I grew up, so I didn't have many friends and family to utilize as a support system. My boyfriend was not very equipped to handle this. I felt like I couldn't talk to him about it, particularly my childhood traumas. It made him feel insecure. He would verbally lash out at me, and I didn't feel very emotionally safe in our relationship. It became a pretty bad cycle of me not feeling safe, him feeling insecure, lashing out, and me still not feeling safe. I began to think about moving back to my hometown to be with the people I knew could support me. I can't stress enough how bad it got. I felt like I was unraveling and going crazy, and all of this served to make my boyfriend incredibly insecure about our relationship. I ended up taking a bootstraps approach to my mental health. I got back into therapy. I went to support groups. I got medicated. He demonstrated more willingness to let me talk about my issues and problems without lashing out at me. We hit a stride. We were really happy, very in love. We were both so excited for our future. Update. We ended up signing a lease together, moving into an amazing apartment in our favourite neighbourhood. We were thrilled. Until, not even a week into our lease, I got the call that I'd gotten the dream job. I was elated. I was crying. I called my parents and they cried. My friends were telling strangers about the job. They were that excited for me, and it's really that big of a deal. When I told my boyfriend, I was beyond myself with joy, expressed all of the things I was excited to do for our future now that I'd be making that kind of money. It would be an understatement to say that he reacted poorly. The news devastated and angered him. What was amongst the happiest moments of my life quickly devolved into 2 days of non-stop crying, harsh words and anger. I tried to talk to him about all the ways we could make it work. He asked if I was really going to take the job. I said, yes, of course, I have to. He was of the mindset that I was betraying him, abandoning him and running away from him. I thought we'd reached a better place with it and left for a trip that I'd planned months in advance to see my family for my birthday. He would text me wall after wall of messages about how I was ruining his life, used him as a stepping stone and was tossing our relationship away for money. He accused me of taking the first opportunity I could get to get away from him. He used my past struggles with mental health as evidence that I've always been running from him, never committed to him, and was always looking for a way out. To him, I was bailing, messing him over. He said I knew I was going to get the job and that it was my plan all along. I was essentially his punching bag for all of his disappointment and anger. On my birthday, hello Saturn return, I could tell he was sad, so I called him. I talked through with him about what his dreams for his career were. All of the areas of interest he expressed I had some experience with, so I explained what his next steps would be and how I could help him. I was so proud of him because I know how hard it can be to make moves towards bettering your situation when you're feeling badly. I told my family how proud I was of him. The next day, it was back to me being the punching bag. He said all manner of cruel things to me and about me. My parents caught me sobbing. All I could express was my disappointment and how heartbroken I was. He eventually apologized. I said I didn't know the person he was being, and it was not someone I would want to be with. He said the behavior would stop. I told him that I understood how he was feeling, how the situation sucked, how the timing was terrible, how all of his feelings were valid, but I wasn't willing to be raked over coals and punished anymore. He agreed. I asked him what he would do to prevent the behaviour from happening again. I had hoped he would say therapy, but he said he was going to start working out more. Of course, the behaviour did not stop. Again, the walls of texts. He said if I loved him, I wouldn't take the job. Nothing I said could convince him that my taking the job was not a reflection of my feelings for him or an indicative of wanting to run away from him. I wanted to uplift us both. It truly wasn't about him or my perception of his worth. He could not or would not hear me. It essentially came down to it's me or the job. He said he needed a year in the apartment to show him I was committed to him. If I could find this job, surely I could find a job of equal caliber where we lived. I accepted the offer, we broke up. I cancelled my return flight and I'm living with my parents. He may not have gotten the full year that he wanted, but I could have had 6 months. Alrighty folks, and that's the end of that story. Man, what an idiot that boyfriend is. He completely airballed a golden opportunity to stay with his girlfriend, who was about to become rich, while also moving to a new and exciting city with more opportunities. God, frustrating read. Anyway guys, what are your thoughts? Let me know down below. Otherwise, that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.